Hey guys, this is B. I travel full-time in my SUV Chariot, and I'm a full-time nomad, and welcome back to my channel. So I have been in California for a couple weeks. Don't mind the pup. I've been pup sitting, which is something that we will be talking about. I'm gonna do a small little nomad series. You wanna come up, Bees? Y'all wanna meet Bees? Come here. This is Bees. Say hi. Oh, oh, oh. She's spoiled and she's so cute. Here you go, Bees. You can sit by me, pudding. There you go. So this is just a really beautiful place. So I've been able to spend a couple of weeks, almost a full month here doing work, and so I really wanted to spend some time using the space to talk with you all a little bit about what I do, how I'm able to do it, and hopefully to inspire anybody that's looking to travel this way, to give you any pointers or tips on ways you can get started. So it's going to be a small, I think 5 to 10 part series that we talk about different aspects of nomadic living, digital nomading, and van life. So I'm very excited to get started in this series with y'all. It's going to be pretty informal. I'm going to sit here and talk with you all about a couple things I think are really important tip-wise, just to chat with you one-on-one, you and me. So hopefully this is pretty helpful. If you have any questions, please feel free to shoot me a comment, shoot me a message. I'd be happy to hear from you. But other than that, we are going to get started. Hey, Beetlebee. Her name is Bizu, but somehow I named her Beetlebee. It works. Doesn't it work, Beetlebee? Didn't it? She might start snoring, that's her thing. So you might hear some soothing snores in the back. All right, Beetlebee. Okay. Oh. So this is one really cool thing that I'm going to talk with you all a little bit about is house sitting, but it won't be this video. It'll be one of the supplementary videos in the full thing. But right now we're going to start out with digital nomading. So what the heck is digital nomading? Basically, there's a whole bunch of people across the country, across the globe that are able to work virtually, right? So that means they don't have to have a physical home to stay in. They can travel around in a rig, they can travel around house sitting, they can travel around doing volunteer work, and then they can work digitally. So a lot of folks that work digitally don't have standard business hours, such as myself. I'm able to work asynchronously, so I can work weekends, I can work night hours, I have project-based hours, and I also do strategy sessions with different design firms and creative entrepreneurs through my virtual design studio. So how I started that up was, it was about 2019. I was in a relationship with somebody and we were looking into van life. And at that time we were working on an organization together. We were trying to get together like-minded individuals and some funding to build out a fleet of vans. So that's where we were at in 2019. So I knew that I would need a virtual type of job in order to keep doing this type of work, or to build upon the concept that we built together. So I started working on the concept of having a design studio or a strategy space. I've already had a couple of spaces like that through school, through university and stuff. So I thought it would be an awesome opportunity to just pull it into real life, into a business, a real framework and a real workflow that I can make money off of, instead of hopping from different jobs and working different office hours, because it was extremely draining and it kind of took from my creative capacity. I wasn't able to come home and just think and come up with these awesome concepts and ideas that were connected to the community and to the people that I connected to, because I was so tired. So I wasn't able to barely take care of myself. I wasn't really able to eat very well or work out very much when I was inside of a rental unit, because I was so stressed out about making money, finishing school, having everything paid, and I was just really stuck in the cycle of trying to make it happen. So tapping into this nomadic living, I was able to cancel out all housing expenses, of course. That's quite a bit of your bills, is your electric, water, rent, cable, those types of things. And I also cut down on quite a few bills. This is also something that we'll talk about in this series, is prepping for van life, what that looks like, prepping to be a nomad, ways that you can minimize. But that is something that I really had to focus in on, was making sure that what I was spending my time on was not only extremely valuable, but it had long lasting effects. So if I'm not just doing one-off tasks that'll get me a little bit of money here and there. That's how I kind of started. When I first left office life and moved into nomading, I was kind of doing things just to get the money. So I was doing a lot of hour-based work, things that you can do to get started, and it is very helpful. So I was doing things like DoorDash, Amazon, Grubhub, what's that other one I really liked doing? Instacart. That one was pretty good money. So I was basically just hustling up money off of my rig. I didn't really enjoy doing that too much because I had a sleep setup, a drive setup, and then I had a delivery setup, and that was a little bit tricky to move things around so often to do these jobs, and I was driving around a lot, using a lot of hours. So again, I was more focused on getting money for specific hour amounts rather than project-based work or strategic sessions and things like that. So I have expanded over time, but that's how I started out digital nomading, was really doing service-based delivery work. And then I started tapping into virtual assisting. So virtual assisting is when you work for a firm, you do scheduling, email, correspondences, project management, social media, those types of things. You do all of that type of work for a emerging design firm, a smaller firm, or even a large firm. You can do those types of work periodically. So it can be like 10 hours a week, 20 hours a week you work and do these specific tasks. You want down, bees? Hold on a second. Come here, bees. There you go. Go get him. So that is a way to, get a lot of cash. Not get a lot of cash, a way to just widen the range of work that you can do, because you're not stuck in the car doing deliveries. You're not stuck in a certain location doing work. You can actually do your work from your rig. You can do your work at a cafe. You can do your work out on wild land if you have a hotspot, and it really gives you a lot of space to have your office wherever you want it. All you really need is your laptop and a desk space. So that's what I love so much about virtual assisting. I think that it's a very awesome way to disconnect and tap out in a way that's still connected to the grid, because you can be off grid, but some part of you has to still be connected to the grid to be able to be connected to family, the industry that you're working in, and to just kind of grow as a creative or as a professional. So that was something that was really important to me, was creating additional streams of income. That was the number one thing. But at first I had I thought there were 5 streams because there were 5 different delivery services, but it was one stream of income. And then I ended up tapping into virtual assisting. Then I actually created an ebook as well. It's about your astral rhythm, so it taps into scheduling based off of your natal chart. So that's something else that I do at the studio, is kind of a little bit of research-based study and collaboration with my clients. So it's really fun. You're able to kind of mold your business or mold your virtual studio into whatever you want it to be. So if you're a painter, if you're a poet, if you're a writer, you're able to create a kind of like a little cassette space for yourself to work with other people, to collaborate, to reach out and kind of do these different kind of one-off VA tasks for different firms that are in that industry. And it kind of helps you get your foot in the door as a freelancer or as an artist. So that's been really helpful for me. I've been able to tap into quite a few networks across the nation through these different connections, through these different platforms. I've been able to reach out to quite a few different design firms and strategize with them, help them build their systems out. A lot of really awesome stuff, just from creating a really nice portfolio, having a great service list, of the different offerings that you can provide, that is really detailed, the deliverables and the type of timeline, and then just doing outreach to different VA firms or different freelancing platforms to connect with actual folks that will find clients that need your type of skill set. So I like doing that maneuver in digital nomading much more than just straight out freelancing. But if you are interested in straight out freelancing, I did do that for a little while. I did a Fiverr, Upwork, and there were two other ones, but they were more in person. So you would go in person to do a design project to help them fix a space up, or you would go in there to TaskRabbit. You could go in there and kind of reorganize a space or a room for them. So that's the type of work that I did there. But you can do one-off paintings, graphic work, all that good type of stuff on Fiverr, Upwork, and the one that I keep on forgetting. But those are really, really helpful apps if you're just trying to start out doing digital nomading, maybe before you jump into full-time nomading. Those are amazing platforms to set yourself up on, as well as LinkedIn, Instagram. And if you're able to get yourself a landing page that talks about, just a little bit about you, a little bit about your services and what your interests are, and then a link to consult with you to talk about their design or their specific project needs, it's really helpful it also looks really professional that you have that little package of information that someone that's interested in what you do can see you online, can see you on LinkedIn, and kind of see what your interests are, what your work history is, who you connect with, all that good type of stuff. So really making sure that your virtual world is set up for you to be a digital nomad is very important. So I know when I first did my resumes back in college and high school days, I was really focused on getting an employer to like what I do, to like what skills I have, I'm punctual and all these types of things. Now, those soft skills are super, super important, but when you're writing a resume as a freelancer or as a business owner, and you're kind of writing out the work that you've done, as your business, you're going to want a portfolio that has short briefs about each of the projects that you've worked on. That's what you're going to want for your business. And then for you individually, you're going to want, especially as you're just starting out, you're going to want a resume that's tailored to each type of application you're going to be working with. So what the heck does that mean? So let's say that you have a resume for serving, right? You used to serve back in the day. I used to serve back in the day. So I had a serving resume. I had every place that I served at, all the type of work that I did on that server resume. I still have it. That's my plan D. If everything goes awry and I need some quick money and I'm stuck in who knows where, I can go get a serving job, work there for 2 weeks and get out. So I have my serving resume ready to rumble. That's one. Another one for me is administrative. So if it's not a design firm, if it's a accounting firm, or if it's a development firm, or there was like a gas station development firm, those types of spaces like that, you're going to want to have a special resume just for admin. Even HR, if an HR firm needs an assistant, or there's a travel scheduling assistant, those types of things, you're going to want an admin resume. So that's completely separate from my server resume, but it goes through all the different positions that I held that had admin skills in it. So I have my admin resume as well. Then I also have a designer resume. So my designer resume goes through all my interior design history from the past 5 years. I don't go all the way back, but it talks about my schooling, the different programs that I've done, different certifications, different firms that I've worked with, and there's that. And then separate from all of those resumes, I have my service list. My service list tells all of my offerings, so I don't have to discuss different ways that I could help you out or talk to you about, ways that we could work together. My service list goes through all of the services that I have. And then I also have a portfolio that shows you what those services, the end result of those services look like. And I have them both kind of corresponding in each type of service category. So it's a little packet that folks can go through on top of my website. So there's quite a bit that goes into building out your digital nomad foundation. But once you have those things, then you don't have to really be anxious or unsure about what to send out, what things need to be looking like. Also, if you're doing freelance work, you're going to want a separate type of portfolio than a studio portfolio. The studio portfolio gives a brief, it talks a little bit about the service, and then a freelance portfolio is strictly the project information and then the actual work. So there's different types of assets that you'll need as a digital nomad to help you get into different rooms. You know, sometimes you're going to be needing to have your freelancer hat on and you're just going to need to show how you can collaborate. Sometimes you're going to have your strategic planner hat on, your admin hat, and show them that you're able to complete specific tasks at a certain deliverable and timeline. So it really depends on what you're looking for when it comes to project management and VA work. So that's mostly how I, fund my life and everything that I do. So that is a really amazing way to just go about disconnecting and jumping off grid and tapping into nomadic living if that's something you're interested in, or if you just don't want to do the 9 to 5 anymore. It's a really awesome way to disconnect from office life. The only thing you will need to worry about is health insurance. What else? Health insurance and taxes. Those are the 2 things that you're going to want to make sure you have money planned for. And then you also want to do a budgeting sheet to understand, this is my absolute minimum, including food, including gas, everything. This is the number that I need. And then you don't want to stop working your 9 to 5 until you have that doubly each month. That's something that I did not do at first. I kind of just jumped into it because it was a little bit of an emergency situation. But if I would have done that, it would have been a much smoother process into full-time nomadic living if I would have planned it out that way and had the money stacked a specific way before I just jumped into it. So that is my thought on digital nomading. I hope it was helpful to you if you're interested in traveling or you want to disconnect from 9 to 5, or if you're interested in tapping into ways to make some passive or alternative income streams. I didn't talk too much about the passive income streams, but I talked quite a few about the alternative ones. So I'm really interested to hear your thoughts on all this. So if you can, give me a like, share the message with some like-minded individuals. Leave me some comments about your feedback on how you travel, how you digital nomad, and any tips that you may have for the viewers on ways that they can start prepping their stuff or refine their portfolio so that way they'll be able to tap into the virtual world as well. All right, it was nice talking with y'all, and I'll see y'all on the next one.